know how you aren't sick by now, Chris, of so much of the prognostication and the mock drafts and this draft. And again, it's another example of just men being nuts. But
TJ hates mock draft season. I love mock draft season.
I really do.
I mean, it starts for me in the fall. You're just kind of getting a feel or a read on everything heading into the offseason. And then, bam, the last 3 months has been crazy. I can't wait to see what happens tomorrow night. We think it's going to be Bryce Young first overall. And then after that, who the hell knows? But is it going to be Bryce Young first overall? I don't know. Will Levis's friends are posting weird stuff on Reddit, and now he's like 5-1 to be the number one pick. And then Frank Reich said yesterday there's a consensus now on who they're going to take, so they know who they're taking. I wonder if he told his wife. Who was that a couple years ago who was like, I didn't even tell my wife who we were taking number one?
Somebody who's divorced.
Somebody who's definitely divorced.
And by the way, so the Panthers say that. They said they've got the consensus pick. We'll talk to Amy Trask about that in the next hour. That whenever we're playing that, whenever we're going to have Amy on the show today, we will talk about that because I don't pay attention. They just sit me here and I just talk. But that said, I mean, we're talking about like the Panthers saying they know the draft. Does anybody really know the order? And by the way, when an anonymous post can change the flow of a draft.
Or just change the betting odds.
Change the betting odds, you name it. We'll ask Tom Pelissero how it affects how he covers the draft because everything changes.
Like, TJ, if I throw you out what's more likely? Carolina we know is going to pick first, right? Mm-hmm. But what's more likely, that the order goes Houston, Arizona, Indy, Seattle, the next 4 picks, or that somebody trades up?
You'd have to think someone trades up, right?
Someone's got to trade up, right? If you want one of these quarterbacks, do you think you need to get to 2? Do you think you need to get to 3? Do you need to leapfrog Indy, who's definitely taking one? What is Vegas going to do? Is Atlanta going to move up? Could the Jets and Packers just swap picks, right? So what is Green Bay going to do at 13? This is going to be the most craziest first round tomorrow. Once it starts and then once it ends, it's just going to be, I need a drink. Gee, I need to recap what just happened.
You need a drink. There's champagne in the back, and you're just sitting here. So I'm just saying,
right.
If you really need a drink, do something about it.
Crying out loud.
I just think nobody has any idea. I mean, look, we can see all these mock drafts, right? Nobody's got any idea. Until someone calls their name, we just don't know unless, for instance, I don't know, maybe a player's mom drops a little knowledge on something, or I don't know, some buddies go to Vegas and get a little too DraftKings happy or what have you. But nobody knows what's going to happen. So how many drafts, TJ, can you possibly look at? I mean, I'm driving down today. I'm listening to Dan on the way down. I have coffee in one hand. I'm in the left
Coffee
lane.
in one hand, knee on the wheel. We know how you do.
I'm multitasking as we come down here today on this foggy morning here in Southern California. Suzy Shuster in for Rich Eisen here on the Rich Eisen Show, by the way. 844-204-RICH. Call because I love that stuff, please. And guys are already calling, and I appreciate that. But, I mean, the fact of the matter is we can mock draft all we want. When Roger gets up there on Thursday night, makes the announcement, we'll know what happens. And we know who wants what. But, I mean, how many more mock drafts can you have, people?
Suzy, I'm kind of with you on this. I know we're a football-heavy show, and this is how we more or less get paid to do football. But like Brockman said, I don't need 4 mock drafts from the half hour after the Super Bowl ends until this week. I mean, it's just unnecessary because, for one thing, unlike the NBA, where you kind of do have an idea of where these players are coming from, there's 150 D1 schools, not counting the D2s and maybe a D3 player that could come up. You really don't know. So people doing 3-4 mock drafts 2 months ahead of the draft.
Yeah.
I'm just me personally. It doesn't do anything for me, but I know I'm an anomaly. I know there are millions more like Chris who eat up every bit of it.
Yeah, TJ.
I get to this point now, about a couple weeks ago, I say about 3 weeks before the draft, that's when I do get into it.
And I totally get your point on, hey, what's the point of doing a mock draft 4 months out? Mm-hmm. I think for a lot of people, if you are not a huge college football fan, like say you don't want to spend both weekend days, glued in front of your TV for 12 hours. Mm-hmm. I totally understand that. Saturday is, you get stuff done day, and then Sunday you sit at home and watch, Sunday Ticket and your favorite team and your fantasy and your gambling and all that. The mock drafts are a great way to just get an early feel of, oh, these are the guys who we're going to spend the next couple of months getting to know, watching workouts, hearing interviews. Oh, the combine comes up. Now we're going to watch pro days. Like, these are just the guys to keep an eye on. So I think the January mock draft, even though it's still way down the line, the real draft is just kind of like, oh, who could be the 17th pick in the draft? Oh, it's this guy. Oh, who is Joey Porter Jr.? Oh, okay. Wait, is that the guy whose dad played? Oh, right. And then you're just getting to know a lot of these kids. And
that part I do enjoy.
And I think that's kind of the cool part about the mock drafts that come way, way early. But yeah, now the mock drafts are like, oh, these are really where these guys could go. And you're just kind of waiting for the show to start on Thursday.
They are, but it's like, how many yachts can you water ski behind? You know what I mean? It's a little Gordon Gekko with it.
How many mock drafts can we really water ski behind?
Yeah. How many mock drafts can we really water ski behind?
I can't read enough mock drafts.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.